welcome back, one and all. Thank you for joining us here on Gamia TV for yet another video. And this channel is the home of West Indies cricket analysis. Now, this video we will be looking back on the third and final ODI played between West Indies and New Zealand. And this match delivered another intense chapter in this series. And West Indies, they batted first, and they posted a meager 161 all out in 36.2 overs. It was a total that left the West Indian bowlers the need for early breakthrough and to stay alive in this contest. And New Zealand, they had a very disciplined approach to the total, especially with both bat and ball, because they would have restricted the West Indies for 161, which, I mean, it was very disciplined bowling, and they take wickets at regular intervals. In fact, in the middle over phase, they took a total of 7 wickets, and they took 3 wickets in the power play. And that disciplined bowling along with the disciplined batting helped them to get over the line in 30.3 overs. New Zealand just showed their class in this ODI series. I mean, 2 of the matches were very close. The first ODI, they won by 7 runs. That was a very close encounter. And the second ODI, they won by 5 wickets. But that match went down to the wire because they won that match with only 3 balls to spare. Right? And they were in dominant fashion in this third ODI. Now, if you watch the build-up, I would have said to you that New Zealand have not lost, at ODI series since January of 2019 at home. They have been dominant. Right, in fact, leading up to this series, they would have played 29, right, ODIs, and they would have won 25 of those 29, right, and now they had 3 more to that win, so they have played now 32, and they have won 28 matches. They have been in dominant mode, but I think one of my biggest disappointments coming out of this series was the fact that, and not only the ODI series I'm talking about, looking back even on the T20 games, we had some close encounters, and because of West Indies' inability to be very clinical in these key moments of the game, we would have found ourselves, losing these games. If your mind goes back to the second T20, we lost that game by 3 runs, right? In the third T20, we lost that match by 9 runs, right? First ODI, as I would have said earlier, we lost by 7 runs. In the third ODI, we lost that game by 5 wickets. But as I would have said earlier, New Zealand won that game with only 3 balls to spare. So we had some really close encounters, but West Indies, struggle to win, to, be better in those key areas of the game. In this third ODI, West Indies struggle, to build, any partnership. So they did not have really any momentum in the game, losing wickets in clusters and, failing to construct, meaningful partnership. Has been an issue right throughout these 2 white ball series, especially at the top. We were unable to really build any partnership at the top. And despite, flashes of resistance in the series, from the middle order, the constant pressure from New Zealand, seam bowlers and spinners really restricted our opportunities of really, dominating any area of the game. And the final total of 161, it just a combination of tight bowling from New Zealand, and West Indies missed opportunities of scoring, especially running between the wickets, and also lack of big individual performance. The only two batters that really showed any little resistance in this third ODI would be Ruston Chase, scored 38 from 51 deliveries, and John Campbell, who scored 26 from 24 deliveries. New Zealand bowlers executed their game plan really well with precision, and they use a mixture of swing, accuracy, and intelligent variation to restrict the West Indies batters. The pace attack created early openings, early pressure on the West Indies, and then the spinners came in the middle over in order to to kind of restrict the run scoring, and also to be wicket taking threat, which they did, because as I said earlier, in the middle over they would have taken 7 wickets in that middle over phase. The collective efforts of the New Zealand bowlers ensured that the West Indies did not get any momentum in the game. Matt Henry, player of the match, he took 4 for 43 from his 9.2. Jacob Duffy 2 for 27 from his 7, and Mitch Santner joining with 2 for 27 as well from his 6 overs. I mean, New Zealand in their reply to that total of 161, I mean, their approach to that target was with composure and clarity, and they built early partnership which just set the foundation to neutralize the West Indies bowling attempt, and they did get across the line. And despite moments where West Indies had some good moment, because West Indies took 6 wickets, and which was a good bowling performance from the bowlers, but Chapman ensured that New Zealand got over the line with 64 from 63, and he was supported by Michael Bracewell with 40 from 31 deliveries. And to be honest, and to be fair to the West Indies bowler, they had showed really good fight in this series, especially Jaden Seals, Matthew Ford at the top. Sometimes they are not very penetrative, because throughout the series, I think we only got 4 wickets. Throughout the 3-match series, we only got 4 wickets in total in the power play. So that's something that we will need to look on. We have to be more penetrative, especially in the power play, right? But Jaden Seals got 2 for 35 from his 8. Matthew Ford got 2 for 46 from his 9 overs. And defending such a small total will always be difficult, even though West Indies got 6 wickets. They had to hit early, which they did not do for the most part, and they have to constantly take wickets. But having taken 6 wickets of the New Zealand to get to 162, I think that is commendable. And throughout the series, as I said, the bowlers have been really good. It's our batting keep letting this team down, and we just have to find a way for our batters to start to score consistently at this level. The player of the match was Matt Henry with his 4 for 43 from his 9.2. The player of the series was Kyle Jamieson for taking 7 wickets in total in the series. The top run scorer, Shea Hope, he got 162 in the series. And for the New Zealanders, it would be Devon Conway. He got 150 runs in the series. And the most wicket taker, as I said, was Kyle Jamieson. And for the West Indies, it was Jaden Seals with 6 wickets. Kyle Jamieson took 7 wickets in the series. As you know, at Game Yard, we like to look on the numbers. So we are going to take a closer look on the numbers to see, where, West Indies would have lost this series. Now, in terms of runs scored, West Indies in the third ODI, they scored 60 runs in the power play, which is a big improvement, right? In the first game, we scored 32 runs in the power play, so that's like more than 100% improvement there in terms of runs scored in the power play. right? In terms of New Zealand, New Zealand scored 32 runs in the power play in the third game, compared to 39 in the first game, right? So West Indies have outplayed them in the power play where our batting is concerned. But if we look on the wicket loss though, West Indies have lost 3 wickets in the power play, while New Zealand only lost 2 wickets. Right, so New Zealand had better momentum coming out of that power play. Now, in terms of the middle overs, this is where West Indies fell. In the middle over phase, West Indies have scored 101 runs, and I think this is where they lost the game in this phase. Compared to 140, they would have scored in the first match. New Zealand, on the other hand, they scored 130 runs, right? Much better score than West Indies. When compared to 146 they scored, in the first game. But I mean, this 130 was enough to win the game, right? So I mean, they could have scored a lot more runs in the middle over phase because New Zealand, only take 30.3 overs to get to this 162, right? In terms of wicket loss in the middle over phase, West Indies lost 7 wickets, and this is where they lost the match. You cannot lose so many wickets in one phase of the game. And if you look back even on the first match, they lost 4 wickets in the middle over phase, 5 wickets in the second game, right? This is where West Indies lost the series, the middle over phase, right? In terms of total wicket loss in the middle over phase, they lost 16 wickets in total, while New Zealand lost only 10 wickets in the middle over phase in total over the 3 games. Right, so this is where West Indies will need to improve in this middle over phase, right? Overall, West Indies scored 670 runs in total in the 3-match series with an average of 223, right? New Zealand, got to 679 with 226, on average over the 3 games. In terms of wicket loss, and West Indies lost a total of 25 wickets throughout the series, right? At an average of 8.3 wickets per match. That's very high, for a 3-game series. New Zealand, on the other hand, lost only 18 wickets over the 3 games with an average of 6 wickets per match, right? So West Indies will need to improve their game immensely, especially in that middle over phase. In terms of run rate, in the power play, in the third game, West Indies scored at a rate of 6 runs per over, right, which is not bad, while New Zealand scored at a run rate of 3.2, right? In terms of the middle over phase, West Indies scored at 3.58, right, while New Zealand scored at 6.34. This is where again, New Zealand was, better than the West Indies. And remember, this middle over phase is a total of 30 overs, right? So if you are not winning this middle over phase, evidently you are going to lose the game. And we would have seen New Zealand outplayed, West Indies, also where run rate is concerned in this middle over phase. And so overall, at an average, West Indies scored at a run rate of 5.64 over the 3-game series, while New Zealand scored at a rate of 6.03, right? So that's one of the reasons, again, New Zealand have beaten us 3-0. In terms of dot ball percentage, I believe that both teams will need to improve on their dot ball percentage. Overall, West Indies amount of dot ball is like 57%, while New Zealand overall was 56%. And both teams, if you look on the numbers, they are really identical where dot ball percentage is concerned. Both teams will need to improve. You can't have dot ball percentage of over 50 in ODI cricket. They show you that they are not, running between the wickets very well, right? They just look in boundaries, and that cannot win you, a game consistently. You have to take the singles, the twos, and the threes, and so both teams will need to improve on this, that ball percentage. Overall, I was, very impressed with the West Indies. To be fair to them, especially our bowlers, they kept us in the games, and we just need to improve in our top order batting, especially. We have to find a way to score runs at the top to set up the game so that the middle order and the lower order can finish the game. We are leaving too much runs for the middle and the lower order, and that keep allowing us to really fall short in these games. Once we get the top order right, I think we will be performing better over these white ball series. But I'm really impressed with how the boys, they would have fought throughout the series, both series, because a lot of people thought that New Zealand would just run the West Indies over, but it was not the case in this series. The boys fought really hard, and I think we must, I think leaving this series, we can say to ourselves that it was not a bad series, even though we could have won some more games if we were much more clinical. But in terms of our competitiveness in this series, I think we were very competitive, and that's something we can commend the boys for. And I just want to encourage them, in terms of the test series coming up, that they will continue to put out that good performance in this test series. But best of luck, boys, as you go on to the test series. Thank you so much for watching this video. I mean, please remember to hit that like button, that subscribe button, that share your thoughts down in the comment section. What do you think about this clean sweep by the New Zealanders? And please remember to share the link with your friends and family. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next game. Remember, the video coming up, I will be looking on the West Indies test squad that was published by Cricket West Indies. So stay tuned for that video.